Stories. Where do we even begin with stories? Stories are one of the least popular genres of YouTube. If you don't know how stories work, basically it takes someone who sits in front of a camera and tells the story of a certain experience. To put it as an example, Random Man, who is a very good friend of mine, and I was inspired by him to do this kind of story. So I'm going to tell you a story. But first, cue the intro sequence. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tyler Mills, and today I am back with another video. Now, as I explained before the intro, stories are one of the least popular genres for YouTube. Like I said in the intro, to rephrase it, if you don't know how a story works, basically, you sit in front of a camera, you choose a kind of experience that happened to you, and then you share it to your audience. But mine is going to be a little different today. What I'm going to be doing today is that I'm going to be telling a story of my first ever time playing... hold on. Today, I will tell the story to you of my first ever time playing Dead Rising. Now, as you can clearly see, this is a PlayStation 4 copy of my third favorite game of the series, Dead Rising 2. Now, I know a lot of people really don't like Dead Rising as much as they did because of Dead Rising 4, but I figured, screw it, I'll tell a story. So, here we go. This is my first time ever playing Dead Space. So, where do we start? So I want to say this was back 4.5 years ago on the 24th of December, 2016. It was Christmas Eve, and I was at my mama's old house. Now, when we were done with our Christmas dinner, we got to unwrap presents and all of that. And I got a gift card, a headset, and along with those was the first Dead Rising game, which I don't have right here right now, unfortunately, and Dead Rising 2. When we got home, I popped in the first one, which was my first ever Dead Rising game, and I played it. But I didn't like it as much. Dead Rising 2, on the other hand, I didn't know what to do. So I just kept running around, letting Katie die like an idiot. But, the thing I didn't realize before was you're supposed to give Katie a dose of Zombrex to get the maintenance key. So, I turned the console off, turned the game off, and I went to sleep. Christmas Day, which is the next day. I bring the PS4 console over to my mom's older house, which was a duplex, by the way. Jeffrey brought his new game, No Man's Sky, along with him. And I brought the Dead Rising games along, because I at least wanted to play them again. But Jeffrey was the one who got me the Zombrex, and I had to give the dose to Katie. So, it didn't go so well. Then this process kept going for a couple more days, until I decided Dead Rising was boring. I'm going to sell them. Because I wanted a copy of The Last of Us Remastered, which is my favorite video game story of all time, by the way. And I'll get into that sooner or later. But anyway, so if you don't know my previous stats, the reason I say previous stats is because when the games were uninstalled, I deleted the data that came with it. On Dead Rising 2, I was at the max level, but I didn't really know what to do. But for Dead Rising 1, I was level 31. So I was only 19 levels away before I got to the max level on the 28th of June. Now, it's important to mention that Dead Rising was not my favorite zombie game of all time at that point. The Last of Us was. And when I suddenly remembered Dead Rising I downloaded Dead Rising 3 on Game Pass, which was my first official time playing the full game, and Dead Rising 2 Game Pass, which was the only way I could relive the memories that I had of it. But like every other Game Pass games, which frickin' sucks, is that they go away within a certain amount of time, leaving you barely any time to try and complete the story to a game that you never finished, or just doing everything that you're supposed to do for 100% completion, which is complete and utter frickin' bullcrap. Now, as time passed, I slowly started to remember the good times that I actually had with the first Dead Rising games. But before Dead Rising 1, I got Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. And if you don't know that, it's basically a spin-off of Dead Rising 2. I don't like that game as much. At first, I actually enjoyed the game, but then I realized that the story was awful. Because I like the story to the main Dead Rising games. I know, a little unfortunate, but that's just the way I roll. So after Dead Rising Off the Record, I got 4 new games because one of them was destroyed and one of them left Game Pass. So the 4 games are as listed. Days Gone for PlayStation 4 only, which I do have. Dead Rising 1 on PlayStation 4. Dead Rising 3, the Apocalypse Edition for Xbox One, because I can't play it on PC. And Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition, because my little sister, who is 5, I think, unfortunately decided to go all stupid and destroy my copy. But 2020 hits, and I still think about Dead Rising 2. Stop pulling out the case. But anyway, I still think of Dead Rising 2, and I tell my dad that I want to get that game back. And now, since I got both back, I'm not, making a promise to sell these games. Stop pulling out the case. And I'm making a promise to not sell the games again. Because they are... Don't pull the case. They are pre-owned copies now. So, as time passed, I actually got addicted to Dead Rising. Although I don't play it as much anymore, I still play the freaking games. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to make a story based on this. I've always been a fan of the Dead Rising games. Dead Rising 3 is still one of the better games I've ever played. Dead Rising 1 was really good, but it didn't capture the magic of 3. Dead Rising 2 was okay. It was somewhere in between. Dead Rising 4 was a meh. I don't know. It was a hit or a miss. Not for the stupid song. Off the Record is okay, but the story is not good. I don't recommend checking out the story anytime soon, but I do recommend checking out the sandbox mode that comes with the game. But anyway, that's the story of how I first tried Dead Rising for the first ever time. I know I didn't go over the first times that I tried Dead Rising 3 and Dead Rising 4, but Dead Rising 1 and 2 were my first ever Dead Rising games. And of course, Dead Rising 1 was the first ever Dead Rising game I ever played. But anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I put in lots of effort. Well, not much. But I put in effort to try and make sense of what I'm saying, or was saying, to kind of match with what was going on. Stop saying that. To match to the video that I'm making right now. But at the same time, this is my first ever story video. And I hope you guys like it. I don't know. I mean, it's not too bad for a first attempt. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. And if this happens to be the first video that I see by me, please do consider subscribing to become a part of the channel for new things daily. And if you want to keep track of me, make sure to ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.